Hello my dear students. In the lesson Reflection of Light, today we will try to learn how to solve the numerical problems. So here we begin with the solved examples from the textbook first, and then we will go for the exercise questions. Okay. Now let's see the solved example. First solved example. Okay. If the reflected ray makes an angle of 60 degree with the normal, what angle must be the incident ray make with the normal? Okay students, so here what is the question asked? You have to understand carefully here. So what is asked is, if the reflected ray makes an angle of 60 degree with the normal. So you know normal is a perpendicular which is drawn on the surface of the mirror, whose angle is 90 degrees since it's a perpendicular. So and the reflected ray and the incident ray are on the opposite sides of the normal. So here the question is, if the reflected ray makes an angle of 60 degree with the normal. So the reflected ray which is there, okay, is making an angle of 60 degrees. So this is your reflected ray which is making an angle with the normal as 60 degree. Okay. Now we have to find out what angle must be the incident ray make with the normal. So what is asked is incident angle. We have to find out the angle of incidence, and you know you have learned the law of reflection saying that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection, right? So let's proceed further. So what is given? First we have to write angle R, that is angle of reflection, is equal to 60 degree, whereas angle I is equal to angle R according to the is equal to what? So we know that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection according to the laws of reflection. That is angle I is equal to angle R. But angle R is given as 60 degree. Therefore, angle I is also equal to 60 degree. Therefore, the angle formed by the incident ray with the normal is 60 degree. So you must have understood here in this problem that we can easily find out the angle of reflection if the angle of incidence is given, because according to the law of reflection it says that angle I is equal to angle R. Okay, so this is the first solved example. Now let us go for the second solved example, right? So here, if the angle between the incident ray and the reflected ray is 90 degree, what are the values of the angle of incidence and angle of reflection? Okay, so here you have to pay attention here that now you can see in this figure the incident ray, which is also nothing but AO. Okay, the incident ray is AO. Then we have reflected ray as OB. Angle between the incident ray and the reflected ray is given as 90 degree. That means which angle it is which is making 90 degree? It is this angle over here which is making an angle of 90 degree. Okay, so this angle is given as 90 degree. Fine. So now we have to find out from these given things what are the values of angle of incidence as well as the angle of reflection. So the given what we have written over here is angle between the incident ray and the reflected ray is 90 degree. Therefore angle I plus angle R is equal to 90 degree, right? We let this equation be 1. According to the law of reflection, we know that angle I is equal to angle R. Therefore we can substitute this as 2. Substitute in equation number 1. Okay, we get what? Angle I plus angle I you can write, or angle R plus angle R also you can write. So angle I plus angle I is equal to 90 degree. Why we are writing angle I plus angle I? Because we know according to the law of reflection that angle I is equal to angle R. So either you can write angle 2 angle I's or you can write 2 angle R's. Anything you like to write. So here we have written angle I both sides. Okay, so therefore in place of angle R we have written now angle I. So therefore we are getting angle I plus angle I is equal to 90 degree. Therefore what we are getting here? 2I is equal to 90 degree. We are getting 2i is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, what will be angle I? If 2i is 90 degree, therefore I will be 90 upon 2. So 90 upon 2 is nothing but 45 degree. So angle I becomes equal to 45. Now we know that according to the equation number 2, angle of incidence and angle of reflection are 45. Why? Because according to the law of reflection, we know that angle I is equal to angle R. Therefore, since angle R we are getting as 45 degree, even angle R also will be equal to 45 degree. Now we will go for the next problem, that is the question number 3. The question number 3 says that the angle between the plane mirror and the incident ray is around 35 degree. You can see what is asked here. The angle between the plane mirror and the incident ray. Incident ray you can see is AO is the incident ray, and this incident ray is making an angle with the surface of the mirror. Surface of the mirror is PQ, is the surface of the mirror. So which is making an angle of 35 degree. Okay. So we need to find out what are the angles of incidence and angle of reflection. So it is very simple, because here you can see angle, here you can name different angles. You can see here angle PON you can see. Okay, angle PON, that is the angle which is made perpendicular with the normal. Okay, with the normal is making an angle PON with the surface. We can also see that angle PON is 90 degree. Therefore, we can easily find out when one of the angle is given, that is angle POA is given, that is equal to 35 degree. We need to find out this angle as well as this angle. Okay, so it is very easy. What we have to do here is that we have to subtract 90 minus 35. Then whatever answer we are getting, that we will have angle of incidence, right? When you know angle of incidence, when we can find out, we can easily find out angle of reflection also, because according to the law of reflection, angle I is equal to angle R. So isn't it easy, students? So let's see how it is done. Okay, so here you can see that angle I and angle R we need to find out. So first let us write down what is given here. So first write down line PQ is representing plane mirror, ray AO is the incident ray, ray OB is the ON is the normal, and OB is the reflected ray. Now we know that angle PON is equal to POA is equal to 35 degree, which is given, and as line ON is normal at the point of incidence, we know that angle PON will be equal to 90 degree. Therefore, angle PON is also equal to POA plus angle AON. So, we know that PON is 90 degree and POA is 35 degree plus angle AON. So, therefore, angle AON is equal to 90 minus 35, which is also equal to 55 degree. Okay, so angle AON is nothing but the angle of incidence. So thus we have found the angle of incidence. So once we have found out the angle of incidence, we can easily find out the angle of reflection also according to the law of reflection, which says that angle I is equal to angle R. So angle AON is equal to angle I, which is equal to 55 degree according to the law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So thus the angle of reflection is also is BON, which is equal to angle R, which is equal to 55 degree. So this is the third question. So therefore angle of incidence and angle of reflection are equal to 55 degree. Now let's proceed with the next question, that is the fourth question. What angle will the reflected ray make with the mirror if the angle of incidence is 40 degree? Okay, so angle of incidence is given as 40 degree, and you have to find out what will be the angle of reflection. Okay, angle of reflection we can easily find out, okay, when angle of incidence is given. Okay, fine. So let's proceed. further. So here we know that angle ray AO is the incident ray, plane mirror PQ, and reflected ray is OB, and ON is the normal. So what is given here is that line PQ is the plane mirror, line okay, AO reflect is the incident ray, ON is the normal, and OB is the reflected ray. Okay, now what is given? Angle of incidence is given as angle QON is equal to 90 degree. Okay, and angle AON is equal to angle I is equal to 40 degree. So what we have to find out is what angle will the reflected ray make with the mirror. So according to the law of reflection, we know that since angle I is equal to 40 degree, even angle R, that is angle NOB, is also equal to 40 degree. Now we know that angle QON is equal to angle NOB, okay, plus angle QOB, okay. So which is that angle now? Angle NOB and angle QOB are nothing but, you can see over here, NOB this is angle NOB, and angle QOB is nothing but this one. Okay, so what they are making, that is equal to angle NOB, which is the full angle, that is 90 degree. Therefore we are saying that angle QON or angle NOQ is nothing but equal to angle NOB and angle QOB. Okay, so that is this angle, these two angles which are equal to 90 degree. And now we have found that angle NOB is equal to 40 degree. Okay, so and QON is 90, so 40 plus angle QOB, which will be equal to, QOB will be equal to 90 minus 40, so which is equal to 50 degree. So we have found out the angle made by the reflected ray with the mirror. So the reflected ray will make an angle of 50 degree with the mirror. So this is regarding the solved examples. Now we will try to solve the numerical problems which are given in your textbook. So they are also similar to the questions which are now solved in we have just tried to solve the solved example. So we will try to now solve the examples or questions which are given in your textbook. Students, let us try to solve the questions which are given in your textbook, that is the numerical problems. So the first numerical problem is, if the angle between the plane mirror and the incident ray is 40 degree, what are the angles of incidence and reflection? So let's see first the figure here. Okay, so we know that this is the mirror PQ, okay, and the normal is ON, incident ray is AO, and reflected ray is OB. So let's first write down what are the different lines. Okay, so first we will write PQ is nothing but the mirror, plane mirror. Then we know that ON is the normal. Then we have ray AO, okay, ray AO is the incident ray, and OB is the reflected ray. Now what is asked to find out? So we have it is in the question it is given that if the angle between the plane mirror and the incident ray, that means this is the plane mirror, and the angle between the plane mirror and the incident ray is given as 40 degree. That means this angle, that is angle POA, is given as 40 degree. But we know that angle PON is nothing but 90 degree, because ON is the normal, and since ON is the normal, that means it makes 90 degree with the mirror surface. So therefore we can write here is that what is given is angle POA is equal to 40 degree, and we know that angle PON, that is the angle which is made with the normal, is equal to 90 degree. Fine. Now we know that if we see PON, we can split this PON as angle POA and angle AON. So we can write angle PON as PON is equal to angle POA plus angle AON. Okay, so angle PON, we know that it is equal to 90 degree, and POA is given as 40 degree plus angle AON. Therefore we need to find out what is angle AON, which is nothing equal to angle of incidence. Okay, AON is the angle of incidence. So let's find out angle AON by writing this way. Angle AON is equal to 90 minus 40. Okay, so 90 minus 40 is nothing but equal to 50 degree. Now we have got angle I. Angle AON is nothing but equal to angle I, and angle I, we have got it as 50 degree now. Now what is the next question? We have to find out, once the angle of incidence we have got now, we have to find out what is the angle of reflection. So let's find out what is the angle of reflection, because according to the law of reflection, we know that according to the law of reflection, we know that angle I is equal to angle R. Therefore angle R is also equal to 50 degree. Okay, so therefore angle of incidence and reflection both are equal to 50 degree each. Okay, so this is the first problem. Now let's try to solve the next problem, that is question number 2. Next question is, if the angle between the mirror and reflected ray is 23 degree. Okay, 23 degree. What is the angle of incidence and of the incident ray? So what we have to find out is, here what is given is, if the angle between the mirror and the reflected ray. So you know that ray OB is the reflected ray, and the angle between the mirror and the reflected ray is given as 23 degree. So we need to find out what is the angle of incidence. So it is the similar problem like how we have solved the first one. So what here we have to do is that we have to write down that angle, okay, NOQ is nothing but, or QON is 90 degree, because it is the normal. Okay, so what we can write down here is that angle, you can write down the same way how you had written the previous one. That is, first you will have to write down what is the incident ray. Okay, PQ is called as the mirror, AO is called as the incident ray, ON is called as the normal, and OB is called as the reflected ray. And what is given is angle. Okay, if you see over here, which angle is given here? Angle angle BOQ or QOB is given as 23 degrees. So we will write that as what is given here. Okay, so let's write down what is given. Given is angle QOB is equal to 23 degree. And we know that angle NOQ or QON is equal to 90 degrees, since it is the normal. Okay, that is QON is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, angle QON or QON is also equal to QOB plus BON. Okay, QOB plus BON. So we can write down here angle QON is equal to angle QOB plus angle BON. Okay. Now we know that angle QOB is given as 23 degree and angle QON is 90 degree. So we can write it here as 90 degree is equal to 23 degree plus angle BON. So which is therefore angle BON is equal to 90 minus 23 degree. So which is equal to nothing but equal to 67 degree. Okay, so 67 degree is actually the angle BON, and BON is nothing but angle R. So we have found that angle BON is angle R, and which is equal to 67 degree. So now we can easily find out angle of incidence, and angle of incidence according to the law of reflection is angle I is equal to angle R. Okay, so angle R we have already got it as 67. Therefore, angle I is also equal to 67 degree. So what is asked we have found out already. So what is the angle of incidence? Okay, so therefore the angle of incidence is equal to 67 degree. Angle of incidence, we have to write like this. Therefore, angle of incidence is 67 degree. Okay, so this is your answer.